Hello, leader. Your team's happiness isn't a nice to have. It's a productivity driver, a big part of your retention strategy, and the key to client satisfaction. After all, your clients can tell when your team is not happy. So can everyone else around them. And here's the truth. You don't need a Google-sized budget or Nike-level perks to make your team feel happy. You're a small business owner, and the beauty of that is that you can create big, memorable impact with very human, very doable changes that don't cost a lot of money. Your team doesn't want nap pods and kombucha on tap. They want to feel seen, heard, respected, and of course, cared for. And that's something you can give them without a lot of cash. Today, I'll share 5 impactful ways to improve your team's happiness. Now, these are not surface-level perks, but strategies that actually change how people feel about showing up for work each day. And here's the kicker. These changes will matter just as much to your team as they will to you. Let's dive in. And at the end of the episode, I'll tell you how to get one of our most popular free resources that will complement everything we're talking about today. Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast. Smart leadership for women who mean business. I'm Shelley Warren, your team and leadership coach, and your no-fluff guide to building a powerhouse team that actually gets the job done without you holding their hand every 5 minutes. You're not just a business owner, you're the leader now, and I'll help you step up, lead smart, and stop micromanaging. Stick with me and you'll learn how to hire, fire, and inspire a team you lead with confidence and finally get your night and weekends back. And here's the hard truth. The team that got you here may not be the team that gets you there. So let's trade burnout for bold leadership and stack your team. This episode is powered by the Leadership Lab, my high-touch small group coaching program for women who own an established business with a team of 5 or more and who want to get out of the day-to-day operations so they can focus more on their highest valued work. For some of my clients, they want more time to write, create, do research, support VIP clients, or collaborate with other business owners. Some of them want to continue to learn or craft strategies that will build the business further. Others want to create a secondary complementary business, but she needs her initial business to be more efficient with a very capable team first. If this is you, I see how hard it is to make time for these activities when you're getting pulled into every little thing that's happening in your business today. It's time to step into bold leadership without the burnout. You don't have to do this alone and exhaust yourself by trying to hold it all together. If you're ready for a more strategic, supported way of leading, this is your invitation to join us in the Leadership Lab. When you apply, I'll be the one reading your application and reaching out to you. I can't wait to learn more about you and your business. All right, let's get into it. Here are 5 actions you can take that will drastically improve your team's happiness. First up, host meetings that respect people's time. You don't need to buy productivity software or expensive consultants for this. Sometimes the simplest, no-cost shift, like canceling Friday afternoon meetings forever, makes your team feel like you get it. I bet you appreciate this too. And here's an example of how a client took this idea to respect her team's time with this approach. An interior design firm client of mine dropped back-to-back meetings for her team after she realized that her team never had time to process their creative work. They'd come out of a client meeting or a team meeting and be all fired up to put those ideas into play, but they had to go directly into another meeting. They felt like they were losing momentum and even the energy of how easily the creative ideas were flowing. So she made it normal for her team to have 20-minute buffers in between all of their meetings. And most often, it was more like 30 minutes. And her team said it instantly reduced their stress level, and she noticed that there were a lot less mistakes being made too. So with this strategy, it didn't cost her anything, just intention. and an expectation that people manage their schedules better, allowing for that buffer time. This is also an exercise in keeping boundaries. If you're going to roll this out, you need to stick to it too. Here's the second way you can drastically improve your team's happiness. Prioritize personal well-being beyond birthdays. Sure, large corporations offer elaborate wellness stipends, but in your small business, even teaching executive functioning skills or normalizing the use of an employee assistance program and those resources can go a long way. It's not about spending money, it's about giving permission and encouragement to your team. A former client of mine stopped focusing only on birthday cakes and instead hired in a local education therapist to run a workshop on executive functioning skills. The team left with practical tools for staying organized and felt so much better about being on top of their work plans, instead of always feeling like they were behind or even dropping balls and then scrambling, trying to catch up and mend relationships with coworkers. They said it was the most useful thing the company had ever did for us. This also became a theme and a term that everyone became more comfortable with, and everyone stopped judging people's difficulties and started embracing what executive functioning skills could do for everyone, even the people who thought they had a good handle on it. So the reality of this leadership action is that it costs the business owner less than a nice catered lunch complete with all the decorations and desserts and games for this month's birthday celebration, and the impact was lasting. It helped her team ramp up their productivity and their confidence. Coworkers noticed each other improving, so the drama that came along with people who were bottlenecks eased too. Here's the third way you can drastically improve your team's happiness. Offer clear and fair standards everyone can count on. This costs you nothing, but it gives your team peace of mind. They don't need designer uniforms or fancy perks. They just need to know the rules are the same for everyone. Now, I recommend to all of my clients that they have a policy manual that is easily found by everyone on their team so that they can educate themselves on what those policies and guidelines are. I also encourage my clients to hire an HR resource to guide them through this project and then create the policy manual itself for her. So yes, a bit of an investment, but totally worth it when you can build a team of people who are self-sufficient and know where to find the policy themselves. It's also a great tool to support your team leaders, who are often the one who are upholding your standards, policies, and guidelines anyways across your team. So having an up-to-date and regularly reviewed policy manual can help solve people problems that you can run into, like realizing some people are wearing scrubs while others are wearing workout gear, or realizing that some team members are wearing scents that are bothering clients, or finding out that your new hires are confused about PTO. So when you intentionally create policies that reinforce your culture and your standards, your team will feel relieved because they don't have to guess anymore. I mean, come on. You already know how much time gets wasted when teams stew over favoritism because they believe some people are getting away with things. A clear policy manual, consistent leaders, and peers who hold each other accountable to shared norms stop that all in its tracks. Okay, we're on a roll. Here's the fourth way you can drastically improve your team's performance. Celebrate and recognize together. You don't need a six-figure budget to make people feel celebrated. In fact, small, thoughtful gestures and a modest annual budget for recognition often feels more genuine than those big, fancy rollouts. Now, I've seen it all. Coming from a Fortune 50 corporation, I've seen elaborate multi-six-figure celebrations being hosted. And with those, I've also seen the incredible sense of entitlement that can happen over time when teams are spoiled over and over again with excess. Many of my clients create an annual budget of $2,500 to $5,000, depending on their team size, for team celebrations. Instead of spending it all at once, they use it for small, frequent moments such as surprise coffee delivery after a deadline, or a dinner out after a big campaign, or meal delivery cards for the team leaders to hand out anytime they feel a person would appreciate it. Maybe someone's moving into a new home, or it's back to school week, or their mother-in-law is ill and they've been spending a lot of time evenings at the hospital. Their team members say it feels like we're always seen and celebrated, not just once a year. What I've seen over and over again is that smaller, more regular gestures beat that one big splash at Christmas. All right, here's the last way that I'll share with you today to help you drastically improve your team's happiness. Build in recovery and decision-making space. You can't always give big bonuses or time off like larger companies, but you can build in buffer time after a big project or trust your team to solve customer problems without layers and layers of approval. That trust is free, but the impact is huge. Here's how you can do this. Give your team a buffer day after a big project or a big milestone. So no meetings, no deadlines, just time to regroup. And it shows you recognize their effort, you respect their energy, and you appreciate their work. When buffer days are built in, teams are more willing to go the extra mile, knowing that recovery and re-energizing is part of the plan. And here's an extra one. It's simple, easy to roll out, and incredibly appreciated by your team. One of the stressors that plagues team is that when they're approached by a customer or client who is not happy about something, they'd like to resolve the complaint themselves in the moment, rather than having to run to you or a team leader for permission to solve the problem. So how about showing your team some earned respect by giving them the freedom to solve client problems within clear limits, like approving fixes of, say, up to $200 without your sign-off. Tracking the spend is simple, but the real win is showing you trust them to do right by the client and the company. Let's recap. Once again, these are the 5 ways to drastically improve your team's performance. The first one was host meetings that respect people's time. The second one was to prioritize well-being beyond birthday cakes. The third one was to offer clear and fair standards that everyone can count on. The fourth one was to celebrate and recognize everyone together. And the fifth one was to build in recovery time. And that bonus one was giving your team a decision space with an amount of money to solve customer problems without anyone's approval. Team happiness doesn't come from snack bars and expensive retreats. It comes from thoughtful leadership choices. You just heard stories of small business owners who made simple, low-cost changes, and their teams felt so much happier. They felt trusted, and they felt more committed. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these 5 strategies this week and test it. Will it be canceling Friday afternoon meetings? Maybe you're going to set up a recognition budget, or maybe you're going to give some recovery time after a big project. Whichever you choose, your team is going to notice, and they'll thank you, not with words, but with loyalty, energy, and trust. Send me a message on Instagram where I'm at Stacking Your Team and let me know which one you are going to try first. And as promised, here is one of our most popular free resources. It's called 12 Ways to Motivate Your Team Without a Pay Raise. Now, these are super effective strategies on top of the ones that I share with you today. So grab it at stackingyourteam.com/resources. It's packed with actionable steps that you can use right away to boost motivation, reduce turnover, and increase stability, all without spending any more money on wages. Thanks for tuning in to the Stacking Your Team podcast, Smart Leadership for Women Who Mean Business. If today's episode helped you see leadership in a new way, I'd love to hear about it. Come connect with me on Instagram, where I'm at Stacking Your Team, and tell me What's troubling you about your team right now? And here's one last reminder that you can apply to join the Leadership Lab from the Stacking Your Team website. We're welcoming new members right now. It's time to stop getting pulled into your daily operations and start leading at a higher level. Imagine breathing easier, trusting your team to deliver, and finally having time to do your most highest valued work. I can't wait to meet you.